Hello and welcome back to my channel. My name is Randomize and this is something brand new, a brand new series, and it's going to be a Let's Challenge of Uncharted 3 Drake's Deception. So for those of you who are new to my channel or haven't seen me do one of these Let's Challenges before, essentially what a Let's Challenge is, it's a way of sort of seeing how well a game rewards you for how difficult it is. So it's just a little bit of fun I like to do. It makes games like this that I've played loads. I love the Uncharted series as a whole. You can see that I've done Uncharted 1 and Uncharted 2 previously on this channel as well. But yeah, this is just a way of spicing up another playthrough, you know, a new way of thinking about games in many ways. So the way this works is, essentially you start on 0 lives, and for every trophy that you pick up through the campaign, you gain a life. And if for every death, or every time you have to restart a chapter, you lose a life. And it's pretty much, can you get to the end of the game without hitting 0 lives again? So, obviously at the start you want to build up enough lives such that when it gets really difficult towards the end of the game, you can then survive. And the other big thing about this is that you've got to play the game on the hardest difficulty level available at the start. So, in the Uncharted series, obviously once you complete the game, you get access to crushing mode, and that's very, very difficult. But from the start, we can only play on hard. That's going to be our starting point. We're going to play this game through on hard, and we're going to see if we can beat the Let's Challenge. So far, I've done 2 of these, as I said before. I've done an Uncharted 1 challenge, which I succeeded, and an Uncharted 2 challenge, which I didn't. And yeah, it will be interesting to see how this fares. Also, this is a game that I haven't played in a while, and I'm interested to see how it goes. Because the thing about Uncharted 3 is, I was blown away. Uncharted 2 was always one of my favourite games, like, literally ever. It's like, it just blew me away with what it managed to do on the PlayStation 3. And when I played Uncharted 3, it didn't really match up to that first time around. And as such, this is certainly the one I've played the least of. I played Uncharted 2, like, I did so many playthroughs of Uncharted 2, I can't, you know, it's ridiculous. But Uncharted 3, not so many playthroughs, and I'll be interested to play it again and sort of get a nice sort of, be able to look back over the 3 Let's Challenges that I do of this series and actually be able to sort of approach this from a new perspective. And obviously with Uncharted 4 approaching on the horizon pretty soon, at the time of recording at least, I'm really, really looking forward to playing this, seeing how we go, and then, yeah, really sort of going hard. So, yeah, it'll be fun to see. Very fun to see.
All men dream, but not equally. Those who dream by night, in the dusty recesses of their minds, wake in the day to find that it was vanity. But the dreamers of the day are dangerous men. But they may act their dream with open eyes to make it possible. This I did.
Hands up.
Enjoying yourself, pal?
Oh yeah, you're a comedian. Nice warm welcome. They're both clean.
My apologies. One can't be too careful.
I'm guessing you're Talbot?
Mr. Sullivan and Mr. Drake. That's right. Do you have it?
Let's see the money first.
Cutter, It's all there. Now let's see it. I'll need to authenticate it.
Of course.
Silver, 16th century, Elizabethan design, inscribed with Sir Francis Drake's motto. Well, it appears to be genuine.
Well, of course it's genuine.
If I may ask, how did you two come into this?
Does it matter?
My client will be very pleased.
Hold on a minute. Sully, this is fake.
I assure you, Mr. Drake.
Oh, you are right. This is phony as a $3 bill. What the hell are you trying to pull here?
Perhaps I should be asking you.
This is bullshit. Deal's off, pal.
And you? You can tell your client. You blew it. Come on, Nate, let's get the hell out of here.
You're not really in a position to negotiate. Now give me the ring, take the case, and walk out of here like gentlemen. While you still can.
Do as the man says, son. You're a thief.
Well now, that's ironic.
And so the beginning of this game starts off with a large sequence of sort of melee combat we end up with. And indeed, I mean, the melee combat in this game is quite different to a lot of the other Uncharted's. It's far more sort of nuanced, there's a lot more to it. And there are huge amounts of just little events you can have. Be it, you get loads and loads of different sort of events that you can try. And lots of different items that you can interact with on the, on counters and stuff like that. You can do so much with the melee combat in here. So if, like, for example, if I could get over to the side over here, I could probably attack this guy with like a beer can, a beer glass, or something like that. It just adds to the game, really. Just being able to do all these more things. Obviously, Sully does even more work taking out these guys. So this is an example of a brute character. We see a lot of these in the end, especially in the melee sections, and they're pretty damn annoying to try and take care of. But anyway. So so this is just the start of chapter 1, which is called the Another Round. So essentially. A lot of these guys are easy to take out once you get them sort of backed up against a wall. Then you can really. Then they seem to take a lot more damage. The good news about this sort of starting section is that you get a nice sort of. You can throw guys out windows, and you get a nice sort of. Number of melee kills as well, which is always important in a game like this, where we get trophies for killing enemies with melee. So you just got to keep, on hard mode this isn't too bad. On crushing mode, you do really need to be very careful. You essentially need to. I have no idea why that decided to fly up there. But that's our first treasure of this Let's Challenge, just located there. Sully's being attacked, but we can take that guy out there. But the brute's going to come in. And we get our first treasure, which is our first trophy, and it allows us to make more mistakes. But unfortunately, in similar ways to Uncharted 2, my disc is unfortunately slightly scratched, and so we may well end up with some long loading times between certain events, which kind of sucks, but there's nothing really I can do about it. Except for apologise and obviously make it clear that this sort of length of loading time obviously would not happen if I actually had a copy of the game which wasn't slightly damaged. Well, there we go. So yeah, normally you just get a little cutscene there where the brute sort of drags you into this bathroom. So now you just got to go through these sort of scripted events here.
Okay, ready for more.
So the big thing about brute fights is to just keep countering most of their attacks. If you don't counter them, they do a lot of damage very quick. Stuff like that. This guy's going to take you back to here, and then you've just got to make sure that you dodge that, otherwise he does take you out. But get a nice cinematic ending there.
Yes?
Just my pride.
Come on. Let's go, Nate.
So yeah, that's the end of this little beginning section. Before we end, we're just going to grab our second treasure of this area.
Smell like it.
Now we've just got this very quick little battle here.
Got the old geezer.
There's a really nice example of sort of like interactions with the environment. You can use these pans as well, occasionally, and stuff like that. But anyway, this is going to be the end of the first chapter. I'm pretty sure. Let me just make sure. Yeah, it looks like it. There we go. It's finally out of combat. For some reason he was still in combat. It's the treasures that really do it.
Oops.
Crap.
Ah, damn it.
Typical bloody Yank. All talk. Hey. You've had enough, haven't you, mate? Don't. Stay down.
Hello, Victor.
Kate?
Still wallowing in the gutter with your protege, I see. Not very dignified for a man of your age.
Should have known you'd be behind this. Oh, careful now. Wouldn't want you to melt.
Same cocky little shit. So fearless. I wonder what you're really afraid of. Not bullets or blood or broken bones. No. You get off on all this, don't you? Cheating death. Or not.
No.
Mr. Sullivan, I won't harm your precious boy. I merely want what's mine.
Give me that back.
Cutter!
Oh, no. Oh,
Shut up.
You fool!
Oh, you're bloody welcome, Your Majesty. Marlowe, we have to get you out of here. Oh, come on. They're a right pair of arseholes. What?
So here we go, the start of chapter 2, and it's called Greatness from Small Beginnings. We have the introduction to sort of Drake. We have a like, nice little sort of back backing sort of a backstory, as it were. And yeah, so the key thing about this is that obviously, if we use select, it shows you what we're looking for. This is Drake's booklet, and essentially we're looking for not anything. Doesn't actually show us, not yet. But what we're going to do is we're going to look at all these exhibits, and the reason we want to do that is because we get a trophy for doing so, and in doing so, we'll be able to get to 2 lives, which is obviously good. There is another trophy just there. Ship bells from Drake's fleet. So obviously this is an exhibit all based on Sir Francis Drake, and we all know that Drake, Nathan himself is, believes himself to be an ancestor of Drake and all this sort of stuff. So yeah, so we're just looking through all of these various exhibits. Just going to give each one a quick look over, and then we'll be able to head upstairs to where we need to go next. There's the first illustration that we're actually looking for something when he goes, that's not it. But yeah, this is another example of what the Uncharted series always... I think what they realised when they did Uncharted 1 was that a lot of people really appreciated the slowdown and sort of like the fewer sort of chapters in that game which were a bit quieter and didn't have all the action and all that. You don't need to have bombastic action throughout the entirety of the game. And I think that's always important to remember as we're going to be able to pick up our second
Not here.
Our second treasure there. And yeah, I think, that's always important to realise. As what I'm doing is I'm just going to try and spawn these in a bit faster, because I'm pretty sure most of the glitches I find with this game tend to occur when we've got when we're looking for treasures. But anyway, so yeah, if we just have a quick look through the journal, we've got lots of sort of these diagrams, lots of sketches. I think a lot of these are meant to be Drake in various guises, and the rest of this becomes a bit more important when we get later on. But yeah, so now what we're going to do is we're going to head upstairs.
Maybe upstairs.
Keep trying to find what we're looking for, hopefully, and hopefully that trophy will pop, and we'll ensure that we have... I'm pretty sure you don't have to look at exactly everything, but you have to look at most of the exhibits, the vast majority of them.
It's gotta be in one of these cases.
El museo cierra en 15 minutos.
Is that something we can interact with? And obviously we've got the wheel you can interact with.
Oh, that's not it either.
Basically, we should get everything here.
Nope.
Trophy should eventually pop.
Not here.
The one in the middle is the important one, essentially. So we're just sort of looking at everything aside from that, obviously.
That's not it.
And our longboat exhibit. There we go, that's what we want, quick study. So,
Nope.
that's the one we wanted.
Here.
Now what we can do is we can end our little thing by looking here specifically.
Crap. ¡Suélteme! Clase de gente no es bienvenida aquí. Quédate afuera. Pendejo.
Oh, there he is.
So naturally, this little chapter acts as a sort of introduction to the sort of movement and sort of platforming aspect of the game. We're going to be able to find a fair few more treasures in this chapter as well. I don't remember this game as well, as certainly not as well as I do Uncharted 2 or Uncharted 1, so
Gotta keep up with it.
I do not know exactly where all the treasures are, I will be honest, but we're going to actually obviously have a look for each of them, and we're going to hopefully be able to follow that.
There he is.
So we're going to get an introduction to getting into cover, transferring between cover, and moving around cover in certain situations. So obviously it's important just to not...
Oh, don't mind if I do.
Oh, we've got some graphical glitches there. Very small graphical glitches there.
It was rotten anyway.
So anyway, we're going to enter this little small little area over here. You can see
Where did he go?
the person we're tailing is slightly further ahead. If you don't know who that is, well, I'm sure you'll find out soon enough, but I think it's pretty obvious.
Hello.
You know, I think it's pretty obvious, so hopefully you can tell. Yeah, you don't need to be in cover at all this section. There's a treasure just there. Pretty sure there are some treasures around here. I'm just going to have a quick look. It's obviously important to get as many treasures as possible because in this game, so obviously I would look at the trophy list beforehand, it would be very irresponsible of me not to. The trophy list in this game, you only get a trophy for every 20 treasures. So in previous Uncharted games, obviously, you get them for every 5 or 10. In this game, it's every 20. And so we're actually going to need to work quite a bit harder. It means there are much fewer trophies just for collecting treasures. And it means that, obviously, treasure hunting is one of the easiest methods of collecting treasures in the game. It's one of the easiest methods of getting trophies in the game, because obviously you can always do that. You can always just keep collecting. You can always pick them up at whatever difficulty. It has no relation to difficulty in terms of how difficult the game is. And, you know, that's the issue. So I could have sworn there was another one. For some reason I think there's another one, but evidently we're just going to keep moving. Here, as we're going to end up moving through here and here. One of these doors. Nah, it doesn't look like it. Okay, well, we're going to have to keep moving eventually, obviously. You can see all the treasures do have their traditional sort of little twinkle, so you can always tell where they are. And indeed, Sally doesn't progress until obviously you exit that area, which is always good. It means that you obviously can have time to look around for stuff.
What's he doing?
So, now we get introduced to the sort of the climbing mechanics. So he's going to enter this building.
Damn. It's locked. Gonna have to find another way up.
So you can see there Sergero, or Therahero, I'm not entirely sure. It's obviously like a key maker or something like that. So he's heading further upstairs. We're going to actually have to obviously follow him. You gotta give him something. Give him some credit. He's a very bold kid.
What's he doing there?
And pretty fair fearless.
I need to get a better look.
So anyway, yeah, we swing across. You obviously don't want to climb in front of the windows, otherwise you might notice. But we can get up to here. This is the trigger.
Aquí lo tiene.
Adios, amigo.
I gotta get that wallet. Crap. I can't go down that way.
So obviously if we can't go down, we've got to go across, and indeed, that's indeed what we'll do. So obviously some desyncing of the audio there, unfortunately. But anyway, we're going to make this swing across and over. He's still below us, so we're just going to move up along here. See how Drake knows, seeing as he can't directly see, but anyway. We can use the camera to our advantage. You can climb up here, or you can just sort of move along.
I bet I can spot it from the roof.
I think you do need to stand up in order to make that jump there. We can climb over the rooftops. Get to here.
Oh, who's your friend?
So as you can see, Sully and someone else, a mystery. The lady that he was talking about earlier is they've just met up. And now we can drop down. So this is your second option, I think. I'm pretty sure you can get the treasures that I just got in the, just before we went up to follow Sully. I'm pretty sure you can also get them around here if you wanted to. So you're not limited in that regard. Just gonna have one more look, just a little bit. Maybe it's down here. Maybe not. Okay, well, we'll just have to move on, move forwards, etc., And if you can't find certain things, then, you just can't find certain things. And indeed, there's nothing really sort of sparkling around, sort of like letting me know, at least that I can see. So anyway, yeah, we'll move on. We just continue.
Don't want to lose him.
So yeah, we're going to head back up here. Oh, sorry, head upstairs. This is the point at which you can't start going downstairs. You'll see them continue to walk along.
Damn it. Don't want to go down there.
So yeah, that's obviously the moment at which you're locked from going forwards. But we'll follow them
I gotta find a way to get that wallet.
over here, and we'll reach a final cutscene for this episode, I think.
Right there in his pocket. Now's my chance.
Crap. Suélteme, viejo.
Let's try that again.
Let go of me.
Ah, that's what I thought. Now don't try to run. You're a long way from home, son.
Don't call me that.
Parents must be worried about you.
Yeah, not likely.
Okay, sore subject. That was a nice lift back there. You're pretty good.
I don't know what you're talking about, old man.
Hey, don't call me that. The technique is really sloppy, though. You're telegraphing all your moves.
You're crazy.
Yeah? You've been tailing me all over town. Probably figured me for an easy mark. But you picked the wrong guy, pal.
What?
My wallets. Fine. Maybe we'll just call the police.
Go ahead. Of course, they might wonder why a middle-aged tourist is following young boys down alleyways.
You are a crafty little beggar, aren't you?
I know how to take care of myself. Anyway, I'm pretty sure you don't like the cops any more than I do.
Good point. Kid. The wallet.
Had to try.
Of course you did.
Telegraphing all my moves, huh?
So we're going to stop here at the start of Chapter 3, second story work. We have gained 2 trophies, I believe, in Quick Study and First Treasure. We have 9 so far, which is actually not a bad start to have. Which is, yeah, so I'm pretty happy with that. Good start. In the next chapter, yeah, we should hopefully... there isn't a lot of gun combat at the start of this game, actually. We've still got a couple of chapters before we get into that. But the next chapter has quite a lot of platforming, and for those of you who followed my previous 2 challenges, you'll know that platforming is the death of me in many cases. So hopefully we can survive the platforming sections, get through unscathed, and yeah, I'm really enjoying the start of this, and it's going to be fun to continue onwards. But I hope you have enjoyed this episode as much as I have, and I hope you will join me on the next.